Hey, I'd like to welcome you to another episode of Mission Matters. My name is Adam Torres, and if you'd like to apply to be a guest in the show, just head on over to missionmatters.com and click on Be Our Guest to Apply. All right, so today I'm in Washington, D.C., and I'm at the Power Up Conference hosted by Gloria Felt and Women Connect for Good and Dr. Nancy O'Reilly. And let me tell you, we had an experience yesterday. There was a live concert. I mean, VIP dinner, absolutely amazing, top notch. And today, day two, I'm at the conference and they're doing all the programming, and I have a return guest on the show. So Zakiya, welcome back on the show.
Thanks for having me.
All right, it's been a little bit since I've seen you, huh?
Yes.
So talk to me. Well, first off, for those that haven't maybe seen some of our previous interviews, we've been blessed and the audience is growing. So ERA Coalition, talk first a little bit more about your organization.
So we are a coalition of over 300 partner organizations representing 80 million people across the country, all working towards
80 million.
ERAs in the Constitution.
80 million.
80 million.
Yes. What does that mean to you? That's responsibility. That's a lot of people.
It is. What it means is that we have advocates all over the country who are trying to make sure that we have gender equality in our Constitution. And it's exciting because to be part of that movement and that energy means that we're actually making real change in this country.
What is so I've been watching and following your work now. I feel like going on 3 years off the top of my head, about 3 years or so now. And there's progress, but much more needs to be done. What's the year is? We're in 2025 for those that are watching this in, whatever, in perpetuity. What's the year been like for you?
So the year's been exciting. And now that it's Women's Equality Day, it's August 26th, we're launching a new campaign that's called It's Our Era, Claim the 28th Amendment. Because over the last 5 or so months, President Biden announced that the Equal Rights Amendment had met all the criteria to be added to the Constitution. And so for us, that's the clarion call to make sure everyone in the country knows we have the Equal Rights Amendment, and it's up to us to claim that constitutional amendment to make sure that we can use it to fight sexual discrimination on the basis of sex.
And so looking at your work from, 3 years to now, talk about some of this, the progress, the hurdles, the things you've overcome, because it's quite a story.
Well, it is quite a story. In 2020, the Equal Rights Amendment was finally ratified by Virginia, which is my home state. And so during that time, we've been working with Congress, working in the states to make sure people understand that it's met all requirements to be added to the Constitution. The 2-year limit has passed for when it should be implemented. And so now it's up to us to make sure and enforce that it's actually implemented so that people can use it as a tool to fight discrimination.
So what's keeping it, what's holding it back? Like, what are the challenges?
It's really public awareness and public opinion. We need our policymakers to understand that this is something that the country wants, the country needs, and it's met all the criteria. They just need to recognize it and start using it as a tool. So for us, this big campaign is really about going across the country, letting people know that this is our amendment, this is what it can do, this is how we can use it to make our lives better. But the more people who know about it, the more public pressure there is to make sure that the government recognizes it and then we can actually start using it.
I've had this conversation with you many times, and now that I think about it, picking on myself, not anyone else, I didn't know. Like, any of the people that you talk to, and you're like, oh, well, guess what? This isn't actually in law. This isn't actually written. And they're like, what? Really? Like, I don't can you talk about that? Like, because I've had this conversation with you, and one of the big deals is people just don't even know.
Well, and that's intentional that people don't know. There's a reason. There are forces out there who don't want us to understand that we do have protections against the things that are happening in our country, like rollback of bodily autonomy, rollback of rights for LGBTQ plus individuals. And our job is to make sure that more people understand, like 80% of the country thinks we have it already. And we do, but not in the sense that we can actually use it yet until it's really recognized by the government and by the courts to make sure that we can actually use that tool to be the most effective.
I believe you told me this. So you're a DC native, right? Like you're from the area? Yeah. So as you've been kind of working through this and you've been ahead of the coalition now for some time, what's next? Like, what do you see as, not asking you to have the crystal ball, not plugging you for like a date on when this is going to happen, but like, what do you see as next?
Well, we really see a huge shift across the country for people recognizing that we actually have to be active participants in our democracy.
Like, it's not going to just happen.
It won't.
Yeah.
What we really need is people to stand up and say, this is something that I demand from the people who are supposed to be representing us. A lot of the country is represented by people who don't have their best interests at heart. So the more we inform and educate people about what the status of our rights are, the more people who come to this campaign, who share it with others, the more we're going to have that public awareness grow and build to the point where Congress can act, the Supreme Court can recognize it, and we can actually start using it as a tool.
What do you need? Like, how do people get involved?
So they can go to eracoalition.org. They can follow us on social media at ERA Coalition. And that's one way for you to get involved. And we have this new campaign, as I talked about, Claim the 28th. So you can go on and find the link to that and basically have your own campaign in a box. We've created this toolkit where you can actually do a house party. You can take information to events, like if you're going to a conference. Like if you have book club, you can have this as one of the topics for that book club. But a way that people can actually start organizing in their communities. Right now, people are hungry for something to do because it feels like there's a lot going on that we have no control over, especially here in the city. And so this is an opportunity for more people to feel engaged where they are in their communities and to bring more people along with them.
That's amazing. Well, I know you got to go back to the conference. Last thing I want you to do, I know you mentioned, but I want you to do it again. Look into the camera. How can people follow up? How can they connect? How can they support?
Well, follow us at ERA Coalition on all our social media handles and join us at eracoalition.org to learn more about our Claim the 28th campaign and join us to make sure that everyone knows we have the Equal Rights Amendment and it's their time to get involved.
Fantastic. And for everybody watching, just so you know, we'll definitely put some links in the show notes so you can just click on the links and head right on over. And speaking of the audience, if this is your first time with Mission Matters and you haven't done it yet, hit that subscribe or follow button. This is a daily show. Each and every day, we're bringing you new content, new ideas, and hopefully new inspiration to help you along the way on your journey as well. So again, hit that subscribe or follow button. And Zakiya, thank you so much for coming back on the show.
For having
So
me.
much fun.